Now, Dutch police have arrested several climate activists who attempted to block a main road in The Hague. Those detained included the Swedish campaigner GretaThunberg. Our correspondent Anna Holligan was there.
The final few climate activists have just packed up their banners and are preparing to go home. Earlier, there were cries, cheers of "You are not alone" as Greta Thunberg was picked up off the highway by Dutch police and put onto a minibus along with hundreds of other protesters. You can see her here chatting happily to fellow activists. She's here in The Hague to announce international actions against governments who make it cheap and easy for large companies to use fossil fuels by offering them tax breaks and subsidies on excise duties. Greta Thunberg described her arrest as peaceful. Most of the protesters have gone home or been detained by police and taken away in minibuses. Police are just keeping watch to make sure that nobody else tries to block this highway, the A12 in The Hague.
Now to part 2 of my interview with Kid Rock. What do you think is going to happen in Michigan, though? I mean, your home state going to wake up and decide no mas? We're not going to kill our auto industry with EVs, and he's going to win it.
Trump's winning Michigan. I mean, the auto workers are smart enough to know that EVs mean you're getting replaced with a robot. They're smart enough to know that. Everyone has Google.com. They can search it, whatever. Like, they know that this is coming. Mm-hmm. You know, I applaud what Elon Musk is doing. I think that guy's a genius. But in terms of Michigan, we're going to make cars where we're going to keep the Industrial Revolution alive, and we might have to innovate and go past that, where things are going now. Am I getting off base here? But I think
no, I think the people have to wake up. Yeah.
They do it. They do have to wake up. Michigan is full. Michigan is the melting pot of America. When people came from the South after, the Industrial Revolution, the Civil War, this, that, and the other, and they stopped in Chicago, and they came to Detroit to make a living wage, this, that, and the other, they've stuck around. There's been generations there, including my family.
Yeah, and it's time to save the working class. All right, but I've got to ask you about the tour now.
I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do the opposite of Biden. I mean, if you don't vote for Donald Trump, you ain't from Michigan.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That is a good one. I actually think it's going to be a significant victory for Trump in Michigan. But let's talk about the tour, because you told me about this like 7 months ago. But now this is a reality this weekend. Tell me about what's happening, you and Jason Aldean and the gang.
Yeah, so we started a music festival, me and some partners, called Premier Entertainment, called Rock the Country. And it's going to be 7 music festivals this year in small towns around America. And while everyone's invited, this is specifically a festival created for hardworking patriots who love this country. And I think that's a very underserved market in our country, which is why you've seen things like Duck Dynasty and Yellowstone get so big, is because, while I don't mind a gay person or a trans person being part of a television or film program, I don't need to see one every time I turn one on just because it's some DEI crap. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to serve people who, like, maybe they don't feel welcome at some of these other festivals, this, that, and the other. Maybe you want to, let your patriotic flag and spirit fly high. And so we're trying these, and man, Gonzalez this Saturday and Friday night. Friday, Jason Aldean kicks it off. I come up Saturday with Hank Williams Jr. and a whole cast of other characters. And we got, I think it's 27,000 tickets sold right now. So people are responding, and I pray every day to the good Lord above that we're going to give them a great experience. They're going to feel value for their hard-earned dollars spent. And we're all going to love each other and celebrate America and music. God, amen.
I think, hallelujah, brother. Well, I think it's fantastic. I'm looking forward. I don't know which one I'm coming to, but I'm coming to one of them, and I can't wait. Kid Rock, Bob Ritchie, always great to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
This evening, we are also following this new security warning right here in the U.S. from the FBI and Homeland Security, warning of potential threats to public gatherings. The timing of this and why they're concerned tonight. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, with late reporting.
Tonight, FBI and Homeland Security officials are warning U.S. law enforcement about the potential for terror inspired by that deadly ISIS attack in Moscow targeting a concert hall. The concern, according to the bulletin, violence targeting mass gatherings such as sports stadiums, concert venues, or houses of worship in the United States. Law enforcement told to be on the lookout for any suspicious activity. The bulletin coming just days before millions will gather to watch the eclipse on Monday. Authorities say following the Moscow attack, ISIS and its supporters celebrated the assault and shared graphic and violent attack footage, the terror group calling for similar attacks in the United States. I'm told U.S. law enforcement is being urged to take this bulletin seriously. Sources say ISIS remains a very real threat, David.
Pierre Thomas, live in Washington. Pierre, thank
Well, the law that you are talking about, this Comstock law, is incredibly invasive. It extends its reach to the banning of the mailing of medical textbooks because of their depiction of the human body therein. Love letters fell under the Comstock Act. Some news articles were deemed too graphic. It's wild to me that Justices Alito and Thomas seem to have implied that the FDA should have been considering this relic when evaluating the safety of mifepristone. Talk to me about your thoughts.
Well, you're exactly right. I can't even really believe that we're talking about this. This bill, this old law, the Comstock Act, has been relegated to the dustbin of history for over 100 years. There's not even really been any attempt to enforce it since the 1930s. And yet here we are today actually hearing it being cited by justices of the United States Supreme Court. And why is that? It's because a Trump-appointed radical judge in Texas relied in part on the Comstock Act in his argument for why it should be illegal to mail medication abortion. You know, I'm trying to imagine how this could possibly be explained to a woman in Minnesota who is living in a state that I represent where the rights of people, the freedom of people to make their own decisions about health care, including abortion, have been protected. And yet, this could all change if these radical Republicans are successful in reinvigorating the Comstock Act to infringe on people's basic freedoms.
I have to wonder if Mr. Comstock would have thought the mailing of Viagra or Cialis would be a problem. The only reason I bring that up is because that might motivate a few more people to get in on the game. I mean, it's just a crazy way of looking at 2024 medicine.
Well, you know, it basically is rooted in this Victorian era idea that the government should be the morality police for everybody, that they should be in our personal business telling us what we could receive in the mail even. And yet, let's be honest, that is very much the theory behind what we see in this country today by politicians who believe that they should be the ones to decide what healthcare people can get. And we can see the implications of that, how cruel it is, what chaos it's creating. And this effort to bring the Comstock Act back is just another example of what has been really, it's like a through line from Donald Trump all the way to what we heard argued in the Supreme Court just last week.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right.
Melania Trump, largely absent from her husband's campaign trail, is set to make a rare appearance this month. A source tells CNN she'll attend the April 20th fundraiser for the Log Cabin Republicans, a conservative LGBT group. She won't have to travel very far. The event is being held at Mar-a-Lago. CNN's Randy Kay has more tonight.
Last month, when former President Donald Trump cast his ballot in Florida's primary, Melania Trump was at his side. A reporter asked about her plans to campaign for her husband, and this was her response.
Are you going to return to the campaign trail with your husband? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, she said. Now the former First Lady is set to return to the political arena, not at a campaign event for her husband, but at a fundraiser for the Log Cabin Republicans being held at Mar-a-Lago later this month. The former president has been teasing her return for months now.
She's a private person, a great person, very confident person, and she loves our country very much. She'll be At the appropriate time, she'll be out there.
While also trying to explain away her absence, as he did on Megyn Kelly's podcast.
She's introspective and she's confident. She doesn't need to be out there.
And the only person who decides if and when Melania gets out there is Melania herself. A source close to the former president tells CNN that Melania dictates her involvement. She is very selective and methodical in what she wants to do and how she presents herself.
I think part of the beauty is that mystery.
When Donald Trump announced his 2024 presidential campaign at Mar-a-Lago last year, Melania was there, but since then has mostly stayed out of the public eye. Leading up to the Iowa caucuses, her absence inspired a sarcastic "Where's Melania" campaign. As her husband's legal troubles mounted and Trump traveled the country entering not guilty pleas last year, Melania wasn't at his side. Even on Super Tuesday, Melania was MIA while her husband celebrated at their Mar-a-Lago estate.
I want to thank my family for being here.
Melania has been dealing with some personal matters, such as her mother's illness. She passed away in January. A source who worked with the former First Lady told CNN during the 2020 campaign that Melania had never been comfortable in the public eye, and campaign travel was not something she readily enjoys, that she preferred to be home with their son Barron. More recently, Melania has been focused on getting Barron ready for college, according to the former president. The New York Times reports that Melania made a handful of appearances in 2022 that earned her about $500,000 from both the Log Cabin Republicans and a group called Fix California. Last November, Melania attended a memorial service in Atlanta for former First Lady Rosalind Carter. And just last month, she made an appearance at a formal dinner reception for Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban at Mar-a-Lago. It's been nearly a year since Melania's last television interview on Fox. Despite her pursuit of privacy, she happily teased a possible return to the White House.
Never say never.
Randy Kay, CNN, Palm Beach, Florida.